Well, this whole idea behind the runway show was really Garrett and Steve Nims bugged me at the last conference and said, how do we get the nurserymen to grow plants and landscape architects wants, and how do we get the landscape architects to spec the things the nurserymen are growing? And this whole idea of the plant show was to sort of meet in the middle and figure out a way to sort of connect them and through some sort of event, and that's what the event we came up with. The fascinating thing is there's a ton of excitement from the participant point of view.
Yeah, I said that I was at our college and I got back a lot of messages saying what a great idea.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard that a ton of times. I've heard people. I just got an email from someone on the way over there. They're like getting a posse together to come to the event. I was like,
Yeah.
yes, that's what they said. They said a posse. It was the OISC, the Wild Invasive Species Committee. There, all those guys. So I mean, I think
Have we reached out to the export people too?
Hina, Hefna Hawaii Floriculture, which is also run by Eric Tanoy, who runs Hawaii Shipping Nurserymen Shippers Association. I think that's what Hefna turned into, but we didn't. I think I sent an email out to Judy Schilling from Hina. I sent it to Hawaii Farm Bureau. I sent it to Hefna and Onga. Yeah, Onga. Dennis Kim. I sent it to Dennis Kim, I think, for Onga. So somehow we gotta make a final push on this. I don't mind if we offer, if we don't charge them, if it's the money to some, to have be in the show. It doesn't, but that wouldn't be a killer.
I don't know if it's the money, right?
For some it is, I know. I mentioned. Mostly UH guys.
Well, no, I'm talking about nursery.
Well, I'm not sure if we were charging the UH guys, to be honest with you.
I can't, I mean, I might be off base, but for a nursery person, we just pay $50 a plant and get exposure like this, to me is pretty minimal. I don't know if it's the that or they're just complacent about this whole thing. They grumble, no offense, and we're giving them the opportunity to do this and trying to promote it, and we're not getting a response. So I don't know what to say. I mean, the opportunity is there to show off or to be there to mingle with landscape architects and buyers. I I don't know what else you can say.
Where are we losing at? The nursery people aren't signing up.
Yeah.
So they need to submit plants for the actual runway show. The people that are at UH at the Apparel Design School, they're super excited. Actually, the people that run the Fashion Month downtown learned about it, and they want us to change the event to October for next year so that they can be part of their Fashion Month. They're really excited about it. It's hilarious, the people who are sending me emails.
Yeah.
So the word is out, but well, I guess maybe we just need to somehow do a final push. I'll make it the focal point of the email that I'll send out this weekend, the monthly email.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I'm part of that going around your seniors to just, I've been handing out those brochures to the ones in Waimanalo, and Fred Lau said yes, he would do it. He had
Meriscape.
huh?
I haven't seen I haven't seen a Meriscape entry yet from Fred. Because Meriscape Nursery, right?
Huh?
His nursery's called
Mari started Mari's Garden.
Mars.
Mari Gardens.
Mari's Garden.
I haven't got something from him yet.
What about Ed Miyashita from Garden Creations? I emailed him about that. I talked to him a bit of it, but
How's our response from the architects?
I know.
Or do we even?
Well, we only sold 11 tickets so far, but this is unusual that anyone would buy tickets, 3 months in advance in Hawaii. Everyone waits until like the day before.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous from an event planning point of view. Just pulling my hair out every time we do an event.
It'll be like mine.
Oh, I think so. I'll be there real quick.
Are people clear about what it is? When we hear, because when I hear plant runway, how does that work? Will there be models? Are there babes?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how familiar you are with it or they are there, but basically it's a plant show and we're not talking about necessarily, models as much as fashion designers at the fashion show. So some of the fashion people, when they're, the way I understand, they're looking at it, they usually use models to do their thing. But I think we're talking about actually the, the students who are doing the designs, modeling their own, and walking down the runway to get introduced. I mean, this is the first way we're doing it. Maybe next time it will be with professional models.
Or a modeling school. We do
Modeling
have,
school.
we are paying for 3 professional dancers, and the picture on the poster of the girl with the sunflower is one of those models. So they're professional dancers, and they do this. They'll be in this all themed in the plant flora, and they're sort of part of the enticement for the landscape architects is because they like things that are exotic per se. But I could do a better job of maybe describing what the event is from the nursery perspective, and maybe better describe how much inquiries we're getting about the attendance, because I think I wouldn't be surprised if it's sold out by the kind of interest it's generating at the moment. And the news cameras will come and cover it. They may not cover the landscape. They may cover the students' participation more than anything, because that's the sexier part of the story. And they may talk about the non-invasive plants, but that's probably the selling points to those guys.
Is this is the like the branded thing that's going out to everybody, right? Does it have all the information on it? Or what's in this yellow spot right here?
It's got nothing in the yellow spot. It's got a little bit of information on the bottom. It's just got a teaser,
Oh, I see.
because this was meant to be a poster. But I can put information in there if you want.
Is there food?
Yes, free food, free wine.
Oh, that's got to go on there.
Yeah, yeah. But I think we do put on there. We put compliment. Well, I don't know if I put it in there, but in the emails, yeah, complimentary wine, because they're KCC is allowing us. They're just charging us a corkage fee. So we're going to go to Costco and buy 2 cases of wine and serve it ourselves, and figure out how many servings of wine. But the food is $20 a person, and we're paying for about 100 people at the moment. Heavy poo-poos.
How many times has this gone out? How many blasts have you?
Sent it to our email list, which is 718 people, twice. Sent it to everyone on the board and all the member organizations and all the affiliate, like Farm Bureau, Hefna, Onga, Henna, and they said that. And then I sent it to UH and Extension, and Carl's kind enough that I think they were distributing it through the Extension offices for the last.
I actually sent it out to all of CTAR, which is about 550 people.
So we've had good, and people are buying the tickets, and which surprises me. But maybe I'll send another email out this weekend to our large list, and then maybe I'll send an email out to the board and to other folks who might be just distributing information. And I'll put more information on there: the free wine, the free poo-poos.
Yeah, put it all there,
Yeah.
right in big
That's what's
bold
gonna
letters.
draw
Right?
it.
Yeah, I mean, put all
Wine.
the information
Wine,
right there.
wine and base.
Where, what, when, how, what it's gonna be like. As you get closer to these shows, I was getting emails from different once every 3 days, and actually for me, I was looking at it, I was thinking, that sounds interesting, but I don't know. It kept coming, and I eventually signed up for it, so.
At the last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're one of those.
Yeah. But hey, however you sell tickets,
It works, it works.
Yeah, well,
I think most people might be like that, right?
well, yeah, no, they are. I'd say about half of the entries for the conference every year are done within the last 4 days, maybe 2/3 sometimes.
Yeah, so don't be afraid to just keep nailing it,
Hey, Chris.
Just give it.
Chris, this is Mark.
Remember, and
I hear Mark.
I've only seen this hardly. I mean, I know about it. I kind of know the information, but for me, if I was getting drilled on this, I would know it after a certain amount of time when it was and all that. And I don't really know. And then maybe that's just me, but maybe I'm not thinking much.
Okay, Mark, you're.
No, I just wanted to chime in here. I think you're right. We're going to have to do another push on the nurseries, and I think it's just a matter of them visualizing this is maybe it's a little bit too far out of the box for some of the stuff. And I think it's just a matter of encouraging some momentum. So it may need several contacts. If we can get a couple more guys of the nurseries plugging in, if this nursery does it, then the competitiveness should start kicking in, and then the other guys will start doing it. Because like I had on my hit list, Frankie's, Marty's Garden, and Diane Ragoon. And I don't know if Leland is putting anything in from Kauai Nursery or not. But if we can get those guys started, I think then the rest that'll create some momentum in each of these different areas. You get the flower people, going. We'll get a couple of them moving.
I can Rick
I think a
Barbosa.
lot of it's just wait and see.
Yeah, Rick Barbosa was also going to enter some in. Of course, he's going to do it at the last minute. But maybe I should put a list of who's actually already put in the broadcast too. Let people kind of know.
Well, it might be a little bit early because I don't know if we got enough to encourage them. But if you got some people that are there and you've got some related nurseries of those that are already participating, I think that'll create some momentum. Okay. I think once we get the momentum going, then it'll take care of itself. But we just got to push it a couple times to get that momentum going.
And if the main focus is really to connect the nurserymen with the landscape architects and the industry, I'm not sure that the brochures really communicate that. Because what it looks like is it's more for the general public to learn about landscape plants.
Yeah, it was the poster was designed for landscape architects because they are the most hardest group to get to go to any of these things. They're totally disengaged from these type of things, and the response I got from them was really positive. So I really designed it just for them in mind, but I could do something different for the nurserymen, or unless you think, or just change it up some. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
I think to specifically state that this is an opportunity to integrate and to interact within these industries, because that to me wasn't really clear from the material.
That's a really good point. So okay,
and I think maybe that's part of the reason that the nurseries are not responding. They may think that this is really just kind of for the general public to get interested in landscape plants, and that it's that too, but that doesn't sound like from what you're saying that's the primary goal.
Yeah, and the venue size is not big enough to accommodate the general public. I mean, that would be it would be okay if that happened to fill space, but I would hate to turn away someone from the industry for the general public to show up. And I imagine that some of the students will have maybe some friends or family come along. So I'm just hoping there aren't too many of those. I shouldn't say that, but yeah, I'm hoping we get a really good attendance. So I'll change it. The one I'll send out to everyone over the weekend will be more tailored and talk about the landscape architects, the nurserymen getting together, about the free wine, the free poo-poos. People have already signed up so far, and maybe a little bit better description about what the event is and what's included. So we have 3 sponsors. That's $2,500 each already signed up. We have 21 plants submitted so far. We have 11 consumer tickets, and we have 6 of the 14 tables sold already. So, and we have one more meeting scheduled, and it will be in the web conference, so you can attend if you want.
Sorry, just to go back to the communication tools. You have $15,000 in there. Sorry, what was that? Is that all sponsorship?
That is, I don't have I have it on my computer, but I don't have it readily available. That's mostly the magazine. Mostly the magazine and the website revenue.
Yeah, also, is there revenue from you're saying the magazine is breaking even?
This is the budget, not the actual. So the $15,000 is our budget for the whole year. So we're hoping to make, what's that, about $1,500 a month profit. Very low number, but but that's what we're hoping to get on a monthly basis. The magazine's every 2 months, so that's more like $3,000 an issue is the profit margin, which is 2 full-page ads over the break-even rate. Yeah. We really need 3 to be better off. And I think we've maybe lost about a page of guys at the moment, but anyway, So anything else on the runway show? Does anyone want me to send them a draft copy ahead of time so they can comment on it before I send it out to everyone, or is everyone just good to go? Okay.
I think the main thing is for us to honestly really try to, wherever we are, talking to nurserymen to have that brochure and make them understand that this is a chance for them to, and it doesn't have to be a new plant, it's just underutilized plant.
Correct, correct. And we're probably going to be,
Emphasize to them, or something where they have 10,000 of something else, as long as it's not invasive, and they've got a great deal on them, and a landscape architect, why don't you, see if you can design this into a project? We got it.
Bringing in
Garrett Webb is. He submitted a bunch. He submitted a bunch, and one or two of them screened invasive, and so he changed his list. So yeah. So and then did anyone have a chance, by the way, to talk to Bill Durston about?
I haven't talked to him yet, but I'll get a hold of him.
Because we want to talk to him about the retail guys for Home Depot, Lowe's, and so forth coming. Hopefully, we can get them. I don't know how much of a conflict of an interest for or interest is for him because that's his business. But we're anyway, see what he's willing to do if he's open to that idea. So the next thing on the sheet, which unfortunately is black and white on your handouts, unless you're on the webcam, unless you're on the web conference, you can't see our beautiful new logo. But we have a logo. You know, it was a fascinating experience. This thing, getting it designed and then getting some consensus because people were there came down to two logos and everyone was split on the board and everyone was split in the community on which one to choose. It was agonizing. It came down to I think Steve's vote in the end was the last vote. So it's like that old thing. Every vote counts. And your vote can make the difference. But we do have a logo. We're paying a little extra money at the moment to get Hagedon to fine tune it a little bit, and so we're hoping to get this done in the next couple of days. And at the same time, they're holding on doing the flyer background for the conference because the logo is incorporated in that. So that's holding up that product too. So on the next page, I just wanted to show you the Facebook entries for the logos. If you weren't on Facebook, 218 people looked at the logo we chose. 239 looked at the one we didn't choose, and it was pretty fascinating. 13 people liked the one that we didn't choose, and 15 liked the one that we did choose. So a total of 457 people, 38 likes, and 28 comments. And before we did that, I would say our biggest story had like 10 people and had one like. And then ever since we've done that, every story we generates about 30 to 50 people looking at it, reading it, and 2 or 3 likes. And so it's an interesting experience. Facebook, how you can use it to get people to collaborate and to get people involved. It's kind of tricky.
added benefit, because that wasn't like what you tried to do, right? Get attention on Facebook.
No, I did. I use each media a little differently. The magazine is more like a static. It can't react quickly, and then the Facebook is where I try to put on things that are quick moving, and where I want people to comment and kind of have a dialogue. And then the Twitter is just a broadcast thing. There's no community, there's no conversation on Twitter. It's like a one-way broadcast. And that's when you look at this page, you see at Hawaiiscape on Twitter because I send all these stories through Twitter and then it posts automatically on Facebook for me. But I just thought I would show that to you. The next page, if you have a handout, is the website. So it's not live yet, and we're waiting for the logo again on this too. But the website is still going to be fine-tuned a little bit colors-wise. But it's a pretty amazing website. It's some of the things it does is first of all, it's made on what's called a bootstrap template. So it's made. Twitter invented this term called bootstrap, and they're templates that size automatically to the screen. So if if you're on your phone or your iPad, any size device, it automatically just changes everything to fit. And it's the only one that does that. It's pretty cutting edge. Most people have multiple versions of a website, and it's really you can never keep up with it. The Flickr, there's a Flickr feed, and you can kind of see at the bottom of the page. You add things to the Flickr page for us, and it automatically shows up on the website. Facebook is integrated into it, so Facebook entries show up. Our email program, which is called Mailchimp, which all those emails you get like once a month, those you can sign up for the email right on our website, and it automatically adds it to the database. The Twitter feed is at the footer. You can't see it on this handout, but it automatically shows the Twitter feed. The calendar is really cool. It's a much better calendar than our last website. It includes all kinds of images and other information, maps of the events, and then you can also subscribe to it. So if you have Google Calendar, if you use those type of electronic calendars for your scheduling stuff, you can say subscribe to the LICH calendar, and everything on the LICH calendar will show up on your Google Calendar. And you can turn on and off with a button on the left. So if it's too much crap, you can just hit a button and it'll turn it off and it'll remove it. And so it's a pretty nifty little tool. PayPal's already integrated. The advertising module's integrated, and then every story and every page you can share with Facebook, share with Twitter, and so forth.
Chris, you said PayPal is integrated into the website, so in the future, all these events, plan show, the seminars and all that can be done, signups and all that.
Everything. We're totally going to get away from Eventbrite. Eventbrite charges the credit card fee, which is the same thing PayPal, but then they charge another $2-3 per transaction to use the Eventbrite website. And so we're going to eliminate that and have, yeah, we'll just have the PayPal part. So that should be good. Plus, we want all the people to go to our website. We want as many people to hang around our website after buying something. We don't get that. We don't get the benefit of that.
How do administrators, as things get put in and people are buying different events, does someone have to log all that down, administer all that?
Yeah, I haven't figured that part out yet. Because I have not used PayPal, but we've got everything dialed in. We just haven't had a transaction yet. And the tricky part will be figuring out what account it goes into, the C3 or the C6. And that's still a little bit Greek to me. But my wife I've been data entering all the web pages. My wife's been data entering all the landscape magazine stories. So we have 2 issues already all on the website. And the idea is to get all 20 issues we've had so far into the website, because that's how websites now get good rankings, is through how much your unique content. And we have some really cool content that people, anyway. So I think the website's going to be up I'm thinking the first week of May.
So with all that content, when you Google some weird thing, the website's going to pull up and that issue.
Yeah, and then the idea is that since we get all the magazine articles are going to be submitted through the website, there's a form. We already created a page for authors, and that will put the content so we can just make some changes to it and put it on the website as soon as we want. And so we're going to probably start releasing some stories early, like we've done in the e-newsletter. We release one story early every issue, and that one story gets all the clicks in the newsletter. So we're going to start doing that on the website, and eventually someday we might actually release the whole magazine on the website before, see how that would be the way to go if we get rid of the printing and mailing costs. But the advertising thing is kind of tricky, how you retain value for your advertisers. So anyway, it's something we gotta explore. So does anyone have any questions or comments on the graphics? Unfortunately, I printed a black and white copy, I think, for everyone here.
That's fine.
But everything,
I think it's better than the one that we currently have. The one is more complicated.
yeah,
The one that's current.
yeah, they're both use an engine that a web publishing engine. The old one used a one that no longer supported. The new one uses WordPress, which anyone who does a website these days, almost all the websites are use this WordPress engine. And so it's using the cutting edge engine, and there's probably what 100,000 apps for WordPress. So anything you want a PayPal mod, you just plug it in, download it, put in the codes.
So Chris, this website, you're going to be actively managing and maintaining it then.
I think for quite a while I'm going to be doing the magazine, the website, the Twitter, and the Facebook because they sort of they all work together, and I use I use some stories across all of them. Some I just sort of use them for different the media to however it works best. But I mean anyone who wants to write a story or submit it online or being more involved in writing, managing the Facebook entries or writing the stories, we could sign you up tomorrow or in the next hour. So if people want to write stories or want to do Facebook entries or tweet or do the website, add entries to the website or load pictures on Flickr, like all your event pictures from your Aloha Arborist meeting or your event. I mean, we can give you the passwords and you can just submit them directly. I mean, that would be totally the way to go.
What was Steve Sue? So Steve Sue was just design.
Steve Sue and his programmer are setting this up and customizing this and sort of giving us direction on exactly how to, that's why we're using the Bootstrap. I would have never known like all the different tools and stuff. That's his specialty. Um, we could have had him do all the content, but it would have been about triple the price. So I guess my wife and I are cheap. We're free. But it's also better that we do it anyway because we want to be able to do the maintenance of it. And don't want to be always having to write a check every time we want a story added and then wait for them to be available. Because all these web guys, they don't turn around on a dime.
If you have exactly what is
And
it
so
for?
we have a way of monitoring the use of this website too then, so we know who's going in it and how they're using it.
Yeah, so every entry gets a search engine sort of optimization. You enter this in different data, the way the keywords for the story and so forth, and I haven't. We're using Google Analytics, which is the predominant web tracking, but I actually haven't fooled around with that part of it yet. I've been just trying to get the pages done.
Okay.
But yeah, it's all tracked, and we'll have good data. And based on the Facebook that we've been doing, I imagine the numbers on the website will be very good.
Need some more young techie people to join our organization to help you on with your
I like that idea.
workload.
Let me write that down.
If you have a description of what you do for Facebook,
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. You do all this stuff.
post up like random facts about plants. Did you know that you must probably throw like every day?
No, but I like where it's going because it's this is how it is nowadays, right? That's how everyone communicates. But yeah, it's awesome.
Well,
Not all of us.
well, and this website will have forums at the bottom of the stories too. They'll be moderated. And we also have been in discussions with Lion. I haven't told too many people this, but Lion is willing to hand use give us their plant site, their wiki site, if we'll take it to the next level. But it's like something I just sort of been waiting on because I think we're not ready for it.
What is that?
Lion Arboretum. They have a wiki site for their plants, and they just haven't been able to make it work the way they intended. And I think we have the marketing tools to really make it pop. but it's a wiki site, so it takes a lot of moderators, and it's all native plants, and so it's something on the Native Plant Initiative that we've been talking about. But I don't want to get stuck with another website at the moment, so I'm waiting to see if I can get some other people roped into that one first. So we'll definitely we'll definitely be able to make a lot of changes once the website goes up and everyone can fool around with it. And if they don't like the colors and stuff, there's one little line I change and all the colors change. So the website's not like static; it's very dynamic. It's all generated dynamically. So when we launch it, you'll have plenty of opportunity to make changes. The next page is about our social media. I just wanted to kind of give you a picture of the Facebook and the Twitter, and you can kind of see the Facebook is, most people measure Facebook by how many likes you have. Because if you like a Facebook page, that means you basically get, I think you get alerts whenever a new entry gets, and that basically is like you're liking it and you're subscribing to it. And this is about 3 months. We started the Facebook site like 3 months ago, and we have 73 likes already, which is, I think that's pretty good. We're never gonna have millions or thousands, but I'm hoping to have hundreds in a year or two. But and on the Twitter thing, I don't know who all these followers are.
Probably don't want to know.
I don't know. I'm following about 400 people, and that's how I generate some of the stories for the Facebook and stuff. And we tweeted 331 times in 3 months, so we're twittering 3 or 4 tweets a day. And we have 80 followers, and I honestly don't know who these people are. They don't come up as like people that I recognize.
Maybe inmate.
Well, that's part of the runway things, drawing the inmate crowd. Yeah. We'll probably find ourselves on a prison wall, triple OC or something. For a good time, go to the runway show. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that. And then on the e-newsletter, we have 718 subscribers, and we get about 2 or 3 new subscribers every issue, and we lose about one person. This is like probably pissed off at us, like, don't send me emails. And then every single person who sends in that magazine free renewal thing, we add to the list automatically. That's one of the benefits of doing that effort. So anyway, so I send that out once a month, and that's sort of like almost like an interim issue of the magazine with the events and some of the things going on with the hot topics. The conference. So the conference is scheduled already. I think everyone knows it's October 10 or 10/10/2013. The conference has a lot more moving pieces this year and a lot more people involved in it, which is awesome. Jay and I have been working on the content. Randy's been working on the trade show. Rick Quinn, Christy, and myself have been working on an awards ceremony, which is now scheduled for the morning. And then there's student posters, which Orville and Christy have done some amazing stuff already on that. So student posters are, if you're not familiar, they're research posters of projects that students are working on that have landscape ramifications. And so I imagine that the posters we get will be CTAR people, botany people, School of Architecture people, Lion Arboretum people, Hawaiian Studies, native plant people. It could be some really cool stuff, and it could also get more students to show up to our event, because it's a shame that we don't have like 50 students walking around with their backpacks and their Walkman and I'm sorry, iPods.
So that'd be a first, right? Having the student posters out?
The student posters might be a first, or might be a
We
long.
never had posters on it.
But we've had students before, but not really.
Not students have attended before, but they haven't really been involved in a poster.
We had a student presenter one year.
Yeah, we did, several actually. Last year we had a couple, Rich
John Montoya and
Yeah.
the other student, yeah. So so we have a lot more people involved. There's a lot more energy in the conference this year. We can go into some details in a minute, but just a broad overview. The theme is native plants. Um, One of the other moving pieces is the sustainability awards. This is something that always annoyed me in the industry as a landscape architect, that there are a lot of awards, but nothing to sort of promote the sustainable who's doing the really cool sustainable practices. And so we're putting that together. That the trade show, I think, is going to be bigger than it's been in a couple of years, and there's a lot of good ideas about that. The student posters new. Orville had a good idea at the last conference meeting about doing YouTube sessions, YouTubing some of the sessions and posting them on YouTube. And I've had other people tell me that this year too, that we should YouTube it after Orville told me. So it's like, okay,
It would be a feeder to our site.
it'll be on our site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then start a YouTube account for LICH.
We did already.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Hawaiiscape. Everything's Hawaiiscape. That's why we chose that name, and we had that email about all those names, because we want all the names to be the same. And I kind of think the magazine could be Hawaiiscape too, but I think that's going to take time to figure out whether we want to do that or not. And then this year we're going to do something different. We're going to try to go after the building manager and resort manager market this year. So we're going to try to get building managers and resort managers to come, and we're going to try to build one session independent of the other sessions at lunch to see if we can get building managers and resort managers to come and go to the trade show, and maybe get our trade show vendors to be a little happier. And so
We're gonna have that seminar, are we gonna have that little session on the floor, the trade show floor, or is it gonna be?
I think that's up to you. But we could do it in one of the big rooms, because we're not having the awards at lunch. So the big room will be available, and we could put them all in the big room while the other people are. Anyway, we could figure it out.
Has there been any development on the landscape architecture program?
Yes,
We could get an update, or if anything's going on.
it is going on. It's getting to the point where the School of Architecture and the School of CTAR are trying to figure out who's going to do what.
Yeah.
And that means the rubber's hitting the pavement. But I think we're still 2 or 3 years away on the closest side, right, Carl?
I'm not really sure where it stands, but I'd say it'll take a while.
But I get
It may
emails.
not be 2 or 3
I get
years.
emails from both schools like, Chris, what do you think of this? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Anyway,
I think that would be a big topic of interest. People are interested. Oh wow, there's a landscape architecture. And if we got it out that oh so and so is presenting on the status of the landscape architecture. Because first time I heard of it was from the magazine, and then I was interested enough to send an email out, and I started communicating with women. So she kind of told me what was going on. But if there's been any progress on it, I'm sure the industry would be
okay,
stoked to hear that.
that's cool. Yeah, it is pretty awesome to have that program coming online. The two other things this year, another thing that we're doing differently this year is we're going to have an evening social, which Steve and Madeline are working on. And one of the things we need is, and not to put Aaron on the spot, but we need entertainers. Okay. But I was hoping to get landscape entertainers, people in the landscape business like Aaron, Jim Kenny. Yeah. Do you know other people in the industry who are performers, who have musical talent, where it could be all landscape professionals doing the entertainment and good entertainment?
We could work something out where we could have some of the owners come up and sing a song kind of thing.
Because Aaron's actually a big star on YouTube. I don't know if you guys have seen. I mean, he's got hundreds or maybe thousands or maybe tens of thousands of people watching his videos. If you didn't know, Aaron's a pretty big performer compared to everyone else in the whole industry. But you are. I think you have like 10,000 plus video watches on one of those videos. I forget which one, but I was watching them one night. I don't know why. I was stalking you maybe. But yeah, we do need. Okay. That would be awesome. Steve and Madeline are looking at a venue, but if you
We're
had,
looking at,
is it Nico still?
Nico still, and then also, having Stan check on,
Oh.
Stan said that it would work at the McCoy Pavilion.
In the
And at
courtyards.
the McCoy Pavilion, we can bring our own alcohol,
That's nice.
and we can bring our own caterers, so we can get, much more, I think, reasonable prices. And parking, all those things, so. They're renovating the place, so, but it should be done by then, but, hopefully we'll know within a month.
What would we need as far as entertainment? Would we need a stage, or we definitely would need speakers and microphone? Okay.
And
But
the-
this would be outside that beautiful
that means
courtyard.
You almost have a stage there, because you sit up on the top.
Oh, the stairs.
And then
Yeah.
the stairs, and then
Yeah.
everybody's down around banyan trees in the pond. So it's all set up there for an event, so hopefully we'll see what happens. Stan didn't say no. So he said, yeah, it looks like it's possible for us as a nonprofit. We have to pay a little bit, but he said that's minor.
Well, don't we have, when we had events down there before?
We had events there, but they were totally educational events. So this is more of a social event, in a sense. We can do an educational talk there for 2.5 minutes and whatever, but I mean, yeah. Okay, so we're following up on that.
Yeah, and we definitely need one or two sponsors, Randy. We need one or two sponsors for that event, and doing it in McCoy Pavilion is might have more charges for us than doing it at Nico's. I like McCoy better, but there might be things that we just take for granted that are at another restaurant, but tables or chairs. There might be some things that we
What's the expense? Drinks, food?
drinks, food, and since we're just bringing our own drinks, we can keep that down to a minimum. And food, we need poo-poos and
We can get some good, inexpensive, good food at inexpensive catering rates.
string some lights, some
We don't-
ball lanterns or something.
So we just call it, just event, sponsors and not just, drinks.
Yeah.
Just call it
Event
event
sponsors.
sponsors.
Generally,
A couple, yeah, so we can use the money for.
And we'll get
Yeah.
and we'll give them a little time on the microphone. We'll give them up to like 5 minutes on the microphone if they ante up 2,500. Because anyway, so we can talk about that more in a minute. The other thing was we're gonna have the day after the tour, which Matt is doing as always, and he's not here. And then I've always wanted a logo polo shirt. I'm gonna ask Jay's wife again to try to get us a logo polo shirt this year that has their new logo on it, so that all these nice officers can walk around in some snazzy shirt, be proud of their LICH affiliation. Anyway, branding, yes. So before we get into the committee reports, I just show you the next page, which
Is there any other, things from Randy and Jay?
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
Randy.
conference?
Oh, everyone's-
On the trade show.
everyone's gonna have some. Yeah,
Trade show?
Yeah, we went down to the place down, we took a look at where we're gonna put it, which was, right, the trade show would be right outside of the conference stores and directly across, and, we got a nice space, set out for it, and we're actually thinking of, possibly, putting the lunchtime seating area on the other side, maybe getting some, sponsors to decorate and make it kind of look restaurant-ish and like, just kind of build it up, but put it on one side of that would be like the Diamond Head side of the trade show, and then on the other side would be the conference. So, you'd have a spread out, everything would be spread out. It wouldn't all be concentrated on one side or the other, kind of be spread out through the whole thing. So that's one of the ideas we came up with. So we're working on that.
so this is a reaction to last year where we had people spend time in between the trade show and the conference area in the lobby area and not spend time in the trade show. Yeah, so
We're not creating a lobby this year.
we are killing the lobby and creating the trade show space right outside the door. So you exit the doors and you're like, the trade show space is right there, and hopefully you spend some time at the trade show. And then lunch is a box lunch, quicker, no line, no wasted time.
I heard you have a cattle probe that when people are sitting down, you get them up to go into the trade show.
Yeah, we got that going.
One of the things I just remember that ASLA makes me do as a trustee for them is they make me give me a list of vendors to go thank at the trade show every year, and I've got like 8 guys I got to go around to and say thank you for exhibiting. That might be another thing we if you wanted to do, we could have the board each visit 2 or 3 vendors and just say thank you for showing up at the event because
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be great.
it's kind of nice. And then they'll also tell you right there like what they if they have ideas.
You know, one thing it's a ways off, but if we want to get this into the magazine, the deadline's gonna be August 15th.
Right. Right.
September, October.
So the magazine we've changed. Jay wanted to change the timing of the magazine from it was an odd month. It was like December, January issue, February, March, and so we changed it to January, February. 1, 2 instead of. Hey, there's Leland. So we changed it, and with that change, the benefit is that the magazine will come out September, the first week of September, and the conference is October 8th, 10th. So it'll be way ahead. Although we still get people at the last minute, but they'll have no excuses.
Is there audio on?
Yeah, they're just not. Their button is muted on their Polycom.
Oh,
And Leland looks like he's been outdoors all day. He's probably been rotoing.
Oh, I'm sorry, I've got to go to another meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. So Randy's. I think you're waiting for me for that flyer, right? But you sent out a save the date email already.
Yeah, just basic. My computer tech skills aren't that great, so I got green. That was the color. that was the extent of my decoration. But yeah, it would be nice to have a package, for everything that, the whole conference, trade show, the day after tour, the whole thing all together, or at least, even if we're just doing the trade show, it's a branded for the year, you know. So a little professional, right? We get out to everybody. It's like, so we mean business, and we put some thought and effort.
Jay and Randy, were you guys thinking about changing the rates of admission and changing the rates of the tables?
Yeah, I've heard comments it's a little too high. So
Oh, the trade show's too high. Okay.
The trade show.
The trade show tables.
For what where we are right now.
Okay.
So maybe we can.
It's 450 last year. We're thinking about 350 this year for a single.
So the tables are going down in price, and the admission is staying the same, or
Well, I don't know about the admission. We probably could up that. It was $100, I think, last year, and that's pretty low.
I think it was 100. Yeah, I think everyone else is charged. I think Gila might charge more than us.
125. Actually, the Kona seminars, I think they charge 125.
I kind of everywhere I looked around, everyone's charging more than us for membership and for the conference. I'm like, hey, okay. Well, do you have? I have a lot of things to say about the native plant part, but was there something that you wanted to say, Jay? About okay. Steve, did you have anything more to add about the evening social?
No, I think those will come, this stuff will come together in the next month here.
And then Orville, you want to mention anything about the student poster?
Just the details in terms of like where to email. I guess we already talked about it through
Right.
email. So the details of the student poster, the instructions, and the call for posters.
They've finished it already. I mean, they've got 95% done, and Richard Carley has looked at it and given some comments. And
It's just
No,
sending it.
Christy mentioned they're going to charge $25 for somebody to present a poster. Is that
for lunch,
for lunch? Okay,
it's
cover
just
lunch.
it's to cover lunch. Yeah, it's not to submit the poster. It's so they go to the whole day and we don't lose money on the lunch.
We can get 4x8 poster board from ATCO. So enough, as many as we need
And
for the poster presentation.
so how many posters do you think? How many do you think reasonably we would get? 10, 20?
Okay, about 10. I'm not sure, but yeah.
But and so you folks have an area where you can do about 30 feet, a 30 or 40-foot run.
Yeah, Debbie from ACRO is going to give us a rough design suggestion. And then
Okay. It'll be in a good spot. It won't be like in the back corner.
Spread everything out, so it's, everything's
But usually the posters are all in one run, right? And then we'll have judges, and they'll be featured. They'll be in the magazine. The winner or winners will get in the magazine.
so it's all together, then that's usually how it goes. Okay.
Yeah, and then they actually physically at the poster during like the breaks, the two big breaks, the morning break and the afternoon break, and that's when people walk around the trade show and they also will ask questions of the poster. And I've been to events with both posters and trade show, and the vendors get 95% of the people, and the posters get 5%. I mean, that's what I've seen like HCA. So it's not a competitor to the trade show. It's a very select group.
Well, Christie reserved about 4 boards.
Oh.
And there's about 4. She said we can get 4 posters on each board. But from there it can go up or down.
Yeah, that's just.
Oh, so you guys are already coordinated. Okay.
Next week is the CTAR symposium, so I'll take a look at what people submitted in the abstract. So
Okay. We did put a form online for comments on the native plant sessions, and we got 26 people to respond to it. And I included it in here. You can see where people provided biggest entry was how to maintain native plants. Got 18 people said they wanted that, and 18 people wanted to see underutilized native plants. Oh, there's our plant show. 15 people wanted to see native plant resources. 15 wanted to see the best designs in the state. 16 wanted to see alternatives to native plant alternatives to ornamentals. 17 wanted to see how to ethically and legally collect native plants. So we got these comments, and then what I did was I took these comments and I asked some native plant experts who would be the right person to speak to it, and I already have at least 11 or 12 speakers who are pretty high in demand for the conference, and because I did this online forum and promoted it to the plant community, the conservation community, the native plant community, it kind of got the word out to them, and I'm getting a lot of emails from them saying how happy they are that the industry is actually doing a native plant event, and a bunch of them have said they want to attend. So I think we may lose some landscape people this year, we may or may not, but we're going to pick up some conservation people. So that's going along really well. I think we have too many people at the moment. I have 2 or 3 people who I haven't told them that we'll let them speak yet, because I think we might be filling up on that. Anything else add on the conference? Okay. Next thing is the Native Plant Initiative. Just a real quick update. We've collected over 1,000 Trichardia martii seeds. We've negotiated with 15 different sites to do seed bank sites, and we're currently getting ready to outplant them, 286 of the biggest ones, to these 15 different sites. And they're quasi-public, they're either public sites or they're quasi-public sites. So the idea is that we can come back in 5 years and collect the seed and disseminate it and eventually replace Prochardia pacificus. So anyway, that's the status on that. The next one is the Irrigation Conservation Initiative. As everyone knows, we produced that book on the BMPs last year, the 26 BMPs. And we had a Senate Bill 803 and a House Bill. The House Bill died a couple months ago. The Senate Bill had a historic moment last night. It got a last-minute hearing at the Finance Committee and survived. And that was it was like a 5% chance kind of getting that hearing. It was really low. So we sent out emails to everyone to call, and I sent out an email to the 718 people email list, which I don't like sending out that type of stuff to those guys. And people called, and then I called the senator and the representative who've been helping us with the bill, and they both personally called Sylvia Luke. And then it just miraculously showed up in a hearing yesterday out of the blue with no public notice, and got unanimously recommended for approval. I don't know how that.
Politics, huh?
But because it got through this committee, the next stage is it goes through a conference between the Senate and the House, and they negotiate how to get a common bill that they can both agree on. So it seems like I'm a noob at this, but it seems like there is a, from my understanding, a very, very high chance the bill will pass. Very good chance, because once it gets to the stage, it's pretty much just the negotiating between the two House and the Senate. That's my understanding of it. I could be wrong. What's interesting about this is Representative Cindy Evans, who has been pushing on the House side. The last time LICH passed a bill, which was 10 years ago, it was Garrett and Cindy William Evans, who's from Garrett's district, who got that LICH bill passed. I don't know what it was, but she recalled Garrett and said that she was really happy to be involved in LICH again. So it's kind of funny how things come full circle. Chuck is here, but the next one is the next thing that I just want to update is that Christie's hired a new person to talk to the weed risk assessment, and I don't think it's public information who she's hired yet, but they're gonna do outreach to the landscape industry again using this new person who's I think everyone's gonna really like her. She's coming from the nursery side, and so she can speak the landscape language very well. And so Chuck, Christy, myself, and this new girl with some other people who want to are going to form a committee, and we're going to come up with a black and white list, a short list of plants that shouldn't be used from an invasive point of view. So there'll be a lot of outreach on that, and there'll be a lot of opportunity for people to say yay or nay, they hate it or they like it before we do anything final. So that's going to start up in the next couple of months. The next thing is the CTAR. I was put on the CTAR Advisory Council for the Dean. I forget what it's officially called, but they had a strategic brainstorming session in January, and we participated. And I think the new Dean of CTAR is pretty amazing. I'm super impressed with her. I think she's probably the only one who's really listened to the landscape industry in the last 5 years or so. So I think good things are coming for us. I think it's a matter of us letting them know what we need. And so we did that with this 5-point plan that I put together where we talked about the annual economic report, the turf grass position, doing landscape research, doing a tropical sustainability institute, and doing a native plant institute. And so we need to work on that research needs analysis, which Loa Arborist has a great list that I shared with the dean, but we need to put it in better terms so that they can start to chip away at it. So is that something, Jay, you might want to get involved in? Coming up with some of the,
I can help, sure.
because I think you're like the insider here. But I think the idea would be come up with a short list of, say, the top 10 research projects that would the industry, and I have a list that you could work from, and you could create more, or whatever. But if we just give them a short list of the top 10 and why they're important, that'd be awesome. The next slide is very few people know about this too. I think I shared it at the annual meeting, but I've been championing this Native Plant Institute at UH. And the idea behind this institute is something that would be a nexus for the research community and the industry. So right now there's a lot of entities out there, but they're all doing their own thing. They're not coordinated, and this wouldn't be it would basically just help facilitate connections between all these different entities to make sure that we're heading towards a big goal, that we're not just heading towards getting this one bird back or this one plant, that we're actually looking at the big picture, which is, I think the landscape industry has always said, where are we really going with all these invasive species and native species efforts? I mean, what's the end picture look like? And so that's what this institute is in a nutshell trying to do. And so we've already met a couple of us, Christy Martin, Nellie, Sugi from Lion Arboretum, and Rick Barbosa and myself. We met with CTAR, we met with the School of Architecture. They love the idea. We have a meeting with the Center for Conservation and Research Training at UH coming up. He just had to reschedule. The botany chair, Tom Ranker, we're setting up a meeting with that. Land Arboretum with Christopher Dunn is coming up. And Minette from Hawaiian Studies, the dean of that school, is also being set up at the moment for a meeting. So the reaction so far has been all positive, and we just need $3 million a year of money, and it's a done deal. The next item on the agenda, just an update, is Alan and I have both been voluntold to be part of a Department of Health committee on water reuse, R1, R2 water. And these are the guys, so the LICH irrigation committee met a couple weeks ago and we came up with recommendations, and they're on that, they're in the handout. And there's 8 bullets that we came up with that we felt the reuse laws should be changed and the landscape industry would use more reuse water. So it's a work in progress. You're welcome to look at it. You can email Alan Shieldnick or myself, and we can give you a lot more details.
Wait, I'm looking at May 15, 2002
What?
on that water reuse. So
Oh, the guidelines. That was the last version. So originally it was 1993, and then 10 years later in 2002 they rewrote it, and now it's 2014, and they're going to rewrite it again.
okay.
So in a nutshell, the 2 biggest things that are preventing people from using reuse is, one, R2 has to have a 500-foot setback from a residence, and that's ridiculous. No one's going to use R2 anywhere if you have the 500-foot setback. That's a no-go. And so we suggested 50 feet. The other thing is that this guidelines for treatment of use of recycled water is 290 pages long, and the short form is 10 pages. The short form application is 10 pages. So our recommendation was, 1, short form is 2 pages maximum, and the guidelines for filling out the short form are 20 pages maximum, and that the existing 300-page document turns into a reference book. So we didn't go in. We didn't spend. Alan was amazing. Alan went through the document, and he's created 6 pages of changes to the 300-page document. And the group just said, this document's flawed. People aren't going to fill it out. And Alan says about $10,000 to $20,000 for him to do a long form submittal, or someone wants to use R2. And so that's why only big water users use R1 and R2, because it costs so much money to do the permit application. And so that was our comment on that. And we're just waiting to see what the DOH guys want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're looking at an update this year. The next thing on the agenda is the Ag Day at the Capitol, and that went extremely well. But we didn't have enough people manning the booth. We had 4 people manning the booth, and we had 340 native plants to give away. And we were trying to make sure that the people we were giving them away to understood why we were there and who we were. And that was a little hard to do, because everyone who came to the Ag Day at the Capitol wanted they wanted to see the plants. They weren't as interested in looking at a GMO corn or something like that. And they just weren't there were people looking at stuff like that, but we had the real popular booth at the event. And we promoted the Senate Bill 803, and that was one of the reasons why it got heard. So we were talking story about that. We got some people were really kind. They gave us some donations. Dennis Kim, Ultimate Innovation, and Kauai Nursery and Landscape. And Leland's plants were wildly popular because it was an endangered plant from the island of Kauai. And people saw the endangered tag and they were like, I want that. That was like eye candy. I mean, and so that was a huge hit. Rick Quinn and Josh Sand were the ones who did all the work, even though neither of them are here today. They're the ones who set everything up. And then Brandon, myself, Rick, and Madeline manned the booth. And Boyd was kind enough to stop by. But he did. He stopped by, talked story, gave us a little talk. But it was wildly successful. So we should definitely, this is our second year of doing it out of the last 3 years. We should definitely do it again. But the things we got to do better is we need more people who can, so we're not overwhelmed, and we need to be able to promote what our message is. And next year, our message is more on the, I'm looking at the county side, not the state side. So I'm not quite sure how our participation at this event is going to be. Matt's not here, but the CLT program, maybe Jay, you could talk a little bit minute about how what's going on this year.
Well, there's going to be a change in the administration structure. We're trying to spread out it more rather than just one person. Each island is going to have their own local administrator, and then Allstate is executive administrator, I guess you call it. Because Planet really only allows one person to contact, and it's the actual administrator.
Somehow they got my name, by the way.
I know.
I did not do
So
that.
anyway, Garrett's going to be the administrator over in Kona. We haven't decided yet about Oahu, but maybe Matt. And then over on Kauai, I'll continue to do Kauai. So that's kind of the way it stands now. But this isn't set in cement, yes.
Karen's still involved.
Karen's on this is the
Karen's
test
gonna be
side.
so
This
involved in
this
the
test.
training that we didn't really want to overburden anybody.
She's on the training.
Yes.
Right,
She
right.
and Mel.
This is
Right.
just the test side. So
Yeah.
when Jay's talking, he's talking about the test administration, and
Yeah, and that's one other difference too, is that this year, at least the maintenance part of the training, the 13 session class, will be under the direction of LICH
for Oahu.
for a while.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes with how the other neighbor islands run their programs. LICH does their own training, Gila does their own training. Maui, if we can get Maui on board, I think Mal probably will be involved in setting that up too. So the training really has always been on an island basis.
I invited the Olin Erickson, the MALT president, to attend today's meeting. I don't think he's online, but he is very interested in starting up the CLT program. He doesn't know what's involved in it, but he wants to do it.
Also, Gloria Maker called me the other day. She wants to do something over on the island.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
we're kind of talking about that.
Yeah, the other thing that we're going to do this year, so we got the test. There was a little bit of a hiccup last year in the test, but this year the test is, I think we've set it up so there's going to be no hiccups this year. So
I mean,
yeah.
Normally we don't. It's one-time thing.
One time, but
we've gotten past all that.
Exactly. So I think we met. The Wahoo group met a couple weeks ago, and we had a nice lunch and talked story and figure out how to fine tune it to fix it, make it work better. The other thing that I've been wanting to do, and so we're going to do this in May or June at this point, I got to reschedule it, but is a CLT strategic brainstorming session. So what I'd like to do is get all the key people together through web conferencing and in person and talk about where we want the CLT program to be in 10 years from now and how do we get there. And the reason why I bring that up is, everyone works so hard on the CLT program to get people certified. And we need to do a little better. We need to figure out how to do a better job of retaining people, making sure their cert is still active with Planet, or active with this new certification that Gila and LICH are probably going to be doing, called Hawaii Cert. That'll be people who are CLT certified, but they can't keep up the CEUs, and so there's a different requirement through our organization that gets them another certification that recognizes at least they've done something. And then the other thing is that as an industry, we're so spread out so thin on the testing side and the training side that we haven't necessarily followed through with promoting the program to the people who will be clients. Like the state or the different entities that should be writing in their specs, or the landscape architects, that they should make sure that their maintenance people that they're hiring are CLT certified, and so we need to figure out as an organization, how do we get someone or to do the CEU management and communications better, and how do we get someone to do the CLT promotion better? Um, so at that strategic session, hopefully we figure out that and we figure out other things that people want to do where they think the CLT program could be better. So
Can I make a recommendation here?
sure.
I think we need to try and get the hotel and condominium associations involved in this CLIP program. Perhaps them to try and participate more into it because they're the ones that really benefit from it, upgrading the skills of the workers. And I think the other thing is we need to still work hard on getting the workforce development funds to help cover the cost of these programs. So far, Kauai's been successful, but I don't think all the other islands have been on getting workforce development funding.
Could that's a little Greek to me. I remember hearing it once. Jay, are you the one who applies it?
Yeah, 4 years ago, we applied for, there's a long procedure to get approved. You have to be almost a university to do it. And we applied and they turned us down the first year because that was the first year that we had C3 and C6 and we were doing it under C3 and it had been under C6 before, so there was a technical thing. But 2 years ago, we did get it. And last year, year before last, we got quite a lot of money. But it was up for renewal last year and it wasn't approved. So Oahu, again, was not approved for workforce through LICH.
Okay, but they come up every quarter with the funding for the workforce development.
Right.
Funding, and you have to ask about it early. Now, we work with a community college over here and got CLIC and other programs, our Arbors and other programs onto their matrix. And I think that's what you have to do in each other island is get your program on the community college matrix. And they don't have to do the teaching. We can still do the teaching. And all we do is pay a small fee to the college to collect the funds, make the facility available. And we supply the teachers and the testing. And it's worked out well with the college system over here, and I think it should work out well on the other islands if you get your program on the matrix.
When you say matrix, Leland, are you saying that on the university their curriculum for is that what that is?
Yes, that's what it is that you submit to them your program and what it consists of, and then they'll put it onto their matrix and say that they will provide those programs. If it's not on the matrix, then they can't get workforce development funds.
Right.
And that,
Now,
and that pays for the training or the test or both?
That's for the training and the test.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we were able though, Leland, to actually have LICH approved as the education organization rather than the community college. And so we went directly to the workforce development and got the money directly without any other association with either a community college or UH. But 2 years ago, when we applied again, the application wasn't presented very well. It was turned down because it's up for renewal every 2 years.
So we can try that again?
We can try it again, yeah.
And who did the last?
Yeah, I think we have to actively pursue it. We went through the community college because you guys couldn't do it, and so far they've been working fine, but I would sooner go through a LICH program if we have it approved.
Yeah, well, actually, 2 years ago, the Big Island went through LICH as well. They decided to drop their association with Hawaii Community College because they were asking for too much money. So they dropped their association with them, but we were able to include them in our program. The reason we didn't include Hawaii, I think we talked about it actually, is because you had such a good setup with Hawaii Community College. But we could do that again.
How much money? How much money was that, by the way, Jay?
Well, I think we got $8,000 or $9,000 total.
And then
It goes directly to the students. It pays for half.
And Leland, I don't know if you're at the conference this year, we are trying to promote to get property managers and other people to the trade show. And we're looking at having a class session, which we would be talking about the importance of hiring CLT graduates for their property management. So that hopefully will be at the conference also.
That's great. But I think that training program is a great program, and we just have to make every effort to try and expand on it.
I agree.
So Jay, would you be filling out that application, or would that be someone else?
Well, I could do it again. Actually, the first time Larry Thornton and I.
I'll help you if
It's
you
quite an
want.
extensive application.
I'll help you if you want.
Okay.
But that should be good. Do you think we get more money than $8,000 or $9,000 for all the islands combined?
If we include the Big Island and Hawaii
And Maui.
total package, yes.
That's 8 or 9,000 that they're gonna hold in fee for those who wanna apply, or is it?
Yes.
But how much people actually used it and applied?
Well, it seems like, Leland, you know this too. It's kind of always last minute how much money you're going to be able to get, whether you activate it or not. So it's kind of sometimes undecided until the last minute. But it goes directly to the student. They have to, the individual student has to apply. This is the way it worked with us. And they have to have already paid and then registered to take the class of the test. And then they get reimbursed by the workforce director.
That's correct. In some of our cases, the employer pays the money, and then eventually he gets reimbursed some, but, it's a great program, and I think we just have to try and make every effort to make it work.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get an arborist program on Kauai right now, and, as you said, workforce development funds are getting missed, and right now, they only get their funding by every quarter. So they don't know in advance how much money they're gonna have and where it's going, so you gotta put your request in early, and if you're lucky, you get it. But I think we have to sit down and have a meeting with the State Department of Labor on this to try and streamline the process. I think we would work with them and streamline it to make it a lot better for our industry.
Again, I just wanted to share that, you guys I heard talk about resort, the resort management, targeting them, and last year, the unions actually might have a pocket of money. We had a Harriet program, which is the union and some of the owners across the state, it's a local 5, and we're able to get them to spend money to promote, to buy into the classes and tests. Yeah, we, $8,000-9,000 came in, we had maybe 8 or 9, 10, 11, 11.
Three of them, I think, got certified.
Yeah. So that was, from the resort, it's something small, but, maybe not just the local 5, but there might be other unions with training programs in the resort industry that might be able to promote and back up, training.
Arm maybe too, and some of the condominium associations might.
There's a mailing list of 600 resorts that we send our magazine to at the moment. I mean, if we had something targeted towards them for this when we were ready, we could actually send something that way. Okay. And I just would mention on the side that when I was driving in today, I actually saw a vehicle with LI, the Landscape Industry Certified tag on. I was like, who is that? It was Aaron. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen a bumper sticker with Landscape Industry Certified. I've never seen the bumper sticker before. So I was like,
Where'd you get that?
Planet, they were late
Oh,
in sending
okay.
me that certificate, so they said, here's one.
I'd never seen a bumper sticker before. So I was like, that's got to be someone on our board. Yeah, I thought that was cool. Anyway, just side note.
We need to get some more of those bumper stickers out there for the rest of the people in the other islands.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. We've been giving away those little stickers, the little window stickers forever, with membership. But now that we changed the logo, we can't use those anymore. We might change over to a bumper sticker.
I like that.
Yeah.
And we could do the Landscape Industry Certified Professional bumper sticker. Yeah. Okay.
The one I have is a
We can
magnet.
update it. Yeah.
Was that a magnet?
Yeah, it's a magnet.
Oh, that's pretty big.
I have 2.
And you got it from Planet?
Yeah. I was like, damn. Anyway, so
Yeah, I think we should promote it as much as we can.
I agree, and I think when if we do if we do agree as a group to try to create a some sort of person on this in this organization to handle the CEU and the promotion of it to other people, we need to have some budget for that activity.
Yeah, you know, one of the problems is in losing contact with the guys almost immediately. They
Yes.
move around so much, and Planet depends a lot on email. A lot of these guys don't do email, and that changes too. And we don't, once a person gets certified, we lose contact.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna at that strategic meeting, we're gonna figure out if we want to do something and what it would look like. But yeah, I'm hopeful that we try to keep them in the loop. The next thing is the membership. I promised everyone, or I said we'd try to get 300 people as members, and my wife still thinks she's going to get 300 members. We have 208 at the moment, which is more than 2005, 2009, 2011, more or less. And so we had at this time last year, I think we had like 70 members. So I think we're double or triple what we were last year. So she thinks that she's going to get 90 more from a couple of big companies haven't sent in their members yet. Emails to last year's members. She sends a personal email to each person who is a member who hasn't signed up. E-newsletter blast, which we've done a number. The magazine, we've done the cover twice. Yeah.
That's one day's mail right here.
Okay. Well, yeah, the covers generate a lot of mail, and then the CLTs sign up when they register, and the conference people sign up, and so that she thinks that combined will get us to 300. So that's our goal. So we're doing well. The magazine, you know, the editorial side of the magazine is working out. I think it's getting better and better. The advertising side is stagnated. So I think Jay, you might have some information on
Yeah,
that.
I kind of looked at last month's invoice, um, and let's see, the March, April issue, last time we issued two, we only had about 5 pages total of, of ads. And that's because some of these people are every other time.
Right.
We've lost a few. We're trying to get some of them back. This upcoming issue, May, June, which is the third issue of 13, we're going to have about almost 6 pages of
That's break even.
yeah. So, and also too, if you look at yearly income, average yearly income, well, the total income would be about 52,000 from what we have right now.
And we
So
need
that's pretty close. That averages out at about $8,700 an issue.
that's about the cost.
That's about the cost.
But we really, the magazine, if we ever want an executive director or someone to actually do some of these things and take the pressure off of the board, we need the magazine. I think is one of the conference generates money, and the magazine has the potential to generate a lot of money. So we just haven't tapped it yet. So, um, Cassandra suggested someone with the last name Reedy.
Yeah.
I think it was someone on the north, someone she knows who's magazine advertising salesperson who
She has a background.
she's a background. So have you talked to her by any chance?
I've tried to call her once, and I left a message. I haven't gotten it.
Okay.
But I do have her number. But one thing we need to decide on is commission and what we're going to offer and the whole setup. We haven't really.
I thought we set up some commissions when we were thinking about.
We did.
Laura
We did with Laura. We said about 25%.
Okay, is that what we're going to go with?
But I'm not sure. I'm not sure how if that's enough for someone. But that's what we had said before. And then we had said that they would get it and turn it over to us with a signed contract, and we would manage the month to month communications about
All we have to do
ads.
is sell it
Right.
and renew it, and then we'll manage it.
Right.
And 25%, actually, I told Cassandra that she thought that was very good.
Then let's go with that. And then Steve, you still have the person who does the
Yeah.
building.
I'll try to get a hold of him in the next year. I'm sorry I didn't do it.
There's no we're not giving anyone sole rights to sell the magazine because we need, there's unlimited opportunity. We will just make the magazine bigger if we have to. There's no limit. But the national average is 50% of the pages is advertising, 50% is editorial. And our goal is, since we're educational, is to be 60% editorial and 40% ad. But that equals 12 pages of advertising. And Jay just told you we're doing between 5 and 6. And so we're just talking about 6 more pages before we go to a new 48-page format.
Okay.
And 5 pages of advertising would be about $5 to $7 grand more.
About $1,200 a page.
Right.
If it's a full page, the smaller ads add up to actually more.
They fracture. Yeah. Yeah. So we're looking at, that's where the money, that's where the revenue is. It's just advertising.
Advertising, getting 12, getting it up to 40% of the magazine.
Right. That would generate $5,000 to $7,000 of profit every issue. And then times 6 issues, that's $30,000, $40,000, and that generates a half a position.
You know what would help is if we had a survey or some kind of an information gathering system where we could ask the landscape industry, who do you do business with? Who do you think would advertise? Who would you like to see advertising? I think there's a lot that we're not really looking at.
I like that. We'll
But I
do
don't
that.
know who they would be. I don't have any contacts. So that's the hard part.
I will put something in the next issue. So one of the cool things in this effort with this false, what we call a false cover with the thing is we've actually 229 responses, and Jay's got probably about 60 in his hands. So, but this has given us a picture about who our magazine, not who our members are, but who's getting our magazine. Oh, that was my batteries. So we asked a couple of questions, and one of the questions was, what profession? And we put an answer in there that said owner, because we figured some people were, that there were a lot of small businesses, so a lot of people would probably answer as an owner versus, an arborist. But the number one entry was owner. 40, is that right? It is owner, right? Yeah, owner. 62 people said an owner, and that will support itself further down when it talks about the size of the company. That'll all make sense. But the next category was landscaper with 42 people, facility site manager. Leland brought that up, and we talked about that at the other meeting. That was 39 people, and so arborist tree work was 28. Landscape architect was 27. Retailer wholesaler was 31. So this type of information we'll be able to use in our advertising package about who our readership is, but we've never had this information before, so it's kind of fascinating. And then other was 85, and a lot of those others were realtors and architects and contract.
A lot of homeowners.
Maybe the homeowners. I don't. Yeah, I didn't have a category called homeowner, but there were some. I was fascinated. There were so many real estate agents. We didn't change the form quick enough to capture them, but they were writing in anyway. The other category was what does my company and department do? Number one entry, maintenance. 56 people said maintenance. Number two, plant nursery. 52. Number three was pretty much tied between government agency, landscape design, landscape construction, university, school, wholesaler. Kind of interesting. And then we asked the question, what organization are you a member of? And 69 said LICH. And then everyone else was just a fraction. 16 ASLA, 11 Lower Arborists, 16 ISA. Farm Bureau, I was really fascinated to see a Farm Bureau would skew high. It just had 12. Gila was 10. None was a lot higher, but we didn't capture it accurately in the survey. Master Gardener was 5. So you can kind of see, I was kind of curious to see if there was an organization that we should work closer with and really do a lot more promotional activities with them. And there wasn't a clear winner in that category. And the last question we asked was was how many full-time, part-time employees in your company. 64% said less than 10. And so this list is probably more valuable because it is a lot of owners, a lot of people who are buyers are reading our magazine. At least they're returning our survey. The buyers are returning.
Our advertisements,
So probably a lot of articles that you've got are still like how to run a business.
That's interesting you bring that up, Aaron, because when I studied conferences on the mainland, all the ones that weren't retail shows, consumer shows, were all the educational content was almost all how to run a business, how to market, how to promote, how to manage employee disputes, all those management issues. And we focus on that a little bit at the conference, but they haven't been big winners at the conference, from what I understand.
there's not that much, that kind of attracts the owners. And at our conference, we may have 5 or 6 or 7 people. Remember Leland, we did that a couple of years ago. We brought in that one guy that did a full day seminar on business. I forget his name, but it drew very few people.
As far as magazine content, is that an article or two about?
We did Steve Sue, who was he was writing the article, and but it'd be nicer if we could find someone. I tried to get the guy who does a small business article in Hawaii Business Magazine, and Hawaii Business Magazine didn't even want to be co-branded in the article. They said no, flat out no. The writer wanted to do it, but the magazine wouldn't give him permission. And I said we branded Hawaii Business. We'd make it so it was their article in our magazine. They said nope. But if there's anyone you have names that I'm totally game to do it. If you guys can come up with a national or you want me to research some national writers, because the local writers were kind of tricky. I'll put it down. If anyone else comes up with names, we're always looking for writers. So to sum it up, owners, landscapers, and facility managers were the occupations that were high. Companies that were landscape maintenance and nurseries. The size of the companies were less than 10 people. And the biggest affiliations was LICH, ISA, Lower Arborist, and ASOA. And it's now Mark's turn to talk about Hawaii tropical fruit growers and what they're up to some pretty cool stuff lately.
Yeah, so does everybody have a copy of that?
Probably they have a copy in their hand.
Oh, so they do have a copy in hand. So what this is the, I'm getting an echo here.
Yeah, I'll hide the microphone. Try now.
Okay, yeah, that's good. So what you're looking at is the Hawaii Film Festival. One of their features coming up on April 10th, that's next Wednesday, is called the Fruit Hunters. And this is a Hawaii premiere. This has been in several film shows throughout the world, actually, in Paris and Palm Springs and a couple other places. It's pretty popular. What it is it features these individuals that go throughout the world looking for exotic fruits and to build in collections for other locations. And in Hawaii, there's a lot of that that's been going on. If you think about it, that's how we got macadamia nuts, that's how we got pineapples. And the modern versions of that would be people like Ken Love, Frankie's Nursery. Over in Florida, you've got the Fairchild Gardens, and there's staff there like Campbell and Norris Ismar are individuals that are featured here. And what's kind of neat about this is it kind of portrays what these guys' lives are like and what they do when they bring it back. And what they're doing is they're showing what happens when they bring these fruits into communities. And in this case, I think it's in Hollywood. I think they're using an example of them bringing in fruit trees into these communities and how they take advantage of it. We're going to put out a display there with the white fruit growers. We'll show, Frankie will be there, and a bunch of us will be there. Ken Love will be there. We'll show examples of some of these exotic fruits that have been brought in recently that we're looking at. Some of the fruits that we're focusing on now is we're looking at dragon fruit, we're looking at figs, we're looking at grapes, pomegranates. These are some of the fruits that we're looking at maybe for the future. And so, I think we should be having these fruits at our plant show. But this is an opportunity to kind of see some of the stuff that's going on. So I would encourage anyone that wants to get into this stuff to take a look at this film. The other thing that's coming up right now with the Hawaii Tropical Fruit Growers is we're going to be doing our conference just before yours there at the Best of Both Worlds. And what we're doing this year is we're teaming up with the California collectors. And with these fruit growers, we've got an odd mix of individuals. We've got commercial producers. We've got these horticulturists that are more like collectors of exotic fruits. And then we've got backyard enthusiasts. We've got some nursery people. And these are all California people teaming up with us. So this year what we're doing in our conference is we're going to be touring the state. And we're going to have a conference on Oahu on September 27th and 28th. Then we go to Maui on May 29 and 30. We go to Hilo. Then we go to Kona. And then we go to Kauai. And it's a lot of touring, a lot of visiting of stuff. And it's hopefully a lot of blending of the best of both worlds. We're mixing the California people in with the Hawaii people. And this is going to happen just before your conference on the 10th. And I'm going to be off island on October 10th, so I can't make it to our LICH conference. But this is something that's coming up here. One more thing is Steve and Randy are familiar with some of the stuff I've been doing with mangoes, and we do a mango conference every year. And for the last time, Steve, you can talk through that. We've talked about this idea of what people need to do to maintain these mango trees so they don't get out of control and they maintain productivity. And then the biggest challenge that we have with most people now is we have small spaces and they want to have fruit trees in a small confined area, so that dwarfed mango is becoming more and more popular. And we try to showcase this at the Moana Hotel. It's going to be on the 13th of July, and Randy's involved with that. And Steve, I think you're going to have somebody else helping out this time, right?
Right, yeah, we'll be doing that, but it's a great, get a lot of great people there.
And it's kind of taken on a life of its own. And what we've done is we've blended the food enthusiasts that want to eat fruit and prepare food. And then the idea is if you want to get good quality fruit, you got to grow your own. And that's kind of what we've been trying to get across on this message. And there's some individuals that are doing a great job of it. And the more people doing it, the better. So that's kind of what's going on with the Tropical Fruit Group. I know we got the fruit or the edibles coming up on the next issue, right, Chris?
Yeah, so the whole issue, a lot of the issue is on edible landscaping, and we don't have a mango story. So, Mark, we need you to write a mango story. That's the one story we're missing, and probably one of the most in-demand fruits in the whole bunch.
I can do the mango story, and I think one of the things we need to look at, and I kind of want to do it as a follow-up on our plant show, and that's what are the fruits going to be for the future. I know mango for some reason is really popular, and it's not always the best fruit tree for a lot of people.
Well, maybe the article should be alternatives to mango.
Okay, got it. You got it.
But we have you have about 2 weeks for the deadline, but that would be a great article.
Well, I'm going to write it. I've already written up a thing on Hawaii Tropical Fruit Growers, and I got to draft it up. I'll put in a plug about what are some of the fruit trees for the future, and I'll address mango because that's such a popular thing now.
One of the other things I was thinking is that we're going to start an edible landscaping committee this year, and Mark and I are going to sort of get it going. But I'd like to see something similar to the water conservation booklet, sort of like a guidelines to how to incorporate edible landscaping for landscape professionals. Do you think that next year you guys might want to have your event closer to our event? Maybe we could have like a edible landscaping content in the next year's conference?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, we'll talk more about that as we get closer, but that might be a really hot topic.
I think it's a good idea, Tim. I think the thing we have to look for is smaller tropical fruit trees for residential yards. And come up with a list of trees that are not, that don't get large and stay small and will grow very well.
Yeah, I think we all agree on that. Well, we're
I
almost.
couldn't hear. What was that?
Leland said that I think that he thinks the focus should be more on smaller tropical fruit trees. That's the direction that we should be going as an industry.
I agree. One of the things that I'm trying to focus is how to get a fruit tree in a pot.
Huh. You mean keep it in a pot?
And figs work really well for that.
Oh, okay. Like a lanai plant.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Well, thanks for the update. You guys are doing all kinds of cool stuff. I had no idea how much content you folks do.
Well, if you get a chance to go to that fruit tree conference, it's gonna be for a whole week. And going around the state, it'll be very educational. And I've attended 5 or 6 of them, and it's a real great experience.
Is anyone here planning on going to the conference?
I'll probably go to the Oahu one. I'm not sure if I'll get to the Oahu Island.
I'm gonna look that up. I might attend also the Oahu one. Okay. Well, see, Mark just sold 2 more tickets. The next thing on the agenda, we just got a couple more things. These are being really quick. Is that Jerry Nishak has served on the Department of Agriculture Advisory Committee on Pesticides, which is made up of 12 individuals. They serve 4-year terms. His term ends in 3 months or 2 months. And it's a committee that I guess has had some issues with meeting. They haven't been meeting for a couple of years. I think that's what I gathered from the email from DOA. But anyway, the short of it is that Jerry's term is up, and we need to recommend a LICH representative to be on this committee of 12 people. Is anyone interested volunteering, nominating themselves to serve on the DOA pesticide advisory committee? I'm not.
Maybe bring up our landscape contractors meeting. Can we get a landscape contractor?
Like Ray Ito?
Yeah, like Ray Eco.
Does anyone else want to be on the committee? So is everyone okay with us going to HLICA? And if there's anyone in Click or MALP or Gila wants to volunteer, that's fine too. But we're looking for a volunteer. I bet they meet like a couple times a year max when they do meet.
Try bringing up that our landscape contractors today.
Okay.
Will volunteer.
I think he sent me the email about 3 or 4 weeks ago, so we kind of need to let him know. I think sooner than later. The next meeting is our mid-year meeting, which is usually one of our funnest meetings. Is going to be at Rick Barbosa's Taro nonprofit operation. So I just wanted people to put on their calendar. It's August 2nd, and it's not. We'll be web conferencing the meeting, but we'll be getting there about this time and staying till dinner time. So it'll be a whole. Everyone will bring. There'll be directions on bringing change of clothes. So you'll be getting in the taro patch and doing some work. And then there's a place to clean off, and then we're going to have a meeting, and then we're going to have a dinner catered by a pretty famous chef that happens to be one of Rick's friends. So it's an event not to miss. So with that, the only other thing I would mention is that there are a couple of meetings coming up that may or may not be on people's calendar. April 11th at 1 o'clock is the next conference meeting, and that's at the church, Harris Methodist Church. And if I can get Wi-Fi, I will be web conferencing it, and probably trying out another WebEx or Adobe Connect. And then May 16th is the next runway show meeting, and that's also at Harris Methodist Church. That's at 2 o'clock. And then sometime also in May, we'll have that CLT or LICT now, statewide strategic planning meeting. And then, of course, the next board meeting is August 2nd. That's it.
Great.
Oh, do you want me to? I can email them too. They're in the email I sent you earlier this morning. And that, do you want me to send it to you again, or do you want me to just tell you what they are again? So April 19th is the next. I'm sorry.
We got a hard time hearing you, so if you could email us those dates, or repeat them either way.
Can you hear me now?
And you gotta talk closer to the mic,
Okay. Can you hear me now?
much better.
Okay. So the next meeting dates is April 11th is the next conference planning meeting at 1 o'clock at Harris Methodist, and I'll send an email with a web conference address. And then the other meeting we have planned is May 16th is the next runway show meeting at 2 o'clock. And then in May, we'll have a to be decided date, LICT or CLT planning meeting. And then lastly, the mid-year meeting is going to be at Rick Barbosa's nursery at his nonprofit Working the Tarot. And that's going to be August 2nd at 2 o'clock.
Thank you.
Okay,
August 2nd.
August 2nd. Is that the day you do your school? Ah, okay. And Martin just called me last week, and he wants to get together, I think, on Monday with me and see how to get more involved in LICH again. So, okie doke. Well, Mark, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Well, we'll be signing off. Thanks. How was the web conferencing? Did it was it good enough for you?
You know, I liked it. You know, when you had the images on your screen, did you just point the camera to the screen? Is that what you did, or is it?
No, you
Could
hit
it
a
be?
button and it shares the presentation. So
Okay, it's pretty good.
that's the whole reason
The
I put
only
the.
thing is, it seems like I'm getting a lot of feedback when I'm speaking.
Yeah, that's because the speakers that we're using to broadcast your voice are too close to my computer.
I see.
Sorry about that.
But it's not bad because I can hear the other guys, probably with the exception of the far end of the room. So Leland was hard to hear, but everybody else was okay to hear.
And are you on your phone or your tablet or your computer?
I'm on my phone and my laptop.
Wow. Okay. And they both work fine.
Will both work fine?
Cool. Well, okay. Well, then I guess this go-to meeting works, and we'll try another one at the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Well, have a good day.
All right, bye.